let's say there's a person A, and A had a trauma in age 15, because of which A now has abandonment issues. You don't trust people around you, and then maybe you had this incredible sense of loss at that time. Now you see everything from that person perspective. Why? Because that part is still alive. That part does not want to be hurt again, so it's protecting you. If something is protecting you from feeling hurt, there's no way that you can hate it. No, I have committed that mistake and I don't want anybody else to do it. Hi everybody, welcome to the Eco-Friendly Banter. Today we are going to talk about something which I should have talked about long ago, which is meditation. I keep on asking everybody to meditate, but I never really shared how I do it, and maybe a couple of practices that you can also inculcate in your own sadhana. And then maybe let me know if it worked out well for you, because it's been 10 years and I think there have been lots of trials and errors that I've been doing because I never really had any formal teacher. It's all experiential. Whatever I'll share is totally based on my own experience, so it might or might not resonate with you, so take only what fits you and then just leave the rest for other people. Okay, now I don't know where the conversation is going to go, because there's a lot to talk about meditation and a lot of maybe myths associated with it, how we can do it, a couple of practices, and then what it is not, things like that. So let's just flow with it. I don't have a structure of the talk today. So first thing is, what is meditation? When you focus on something for a long period of time, is meditation, whether it is internal or external. Let's say you focus on something with your eyes or ear or taste or touch or sight for a long period of time. That is meditation. Whether you're reading something, listening to a song on loop, in a conversation with somebody, or if you're watching this video and with intense focus, by the way, with intense focus, totally immersed in it, that whatever is external to you, it starts dissolving into who you are, into your being. That is meditation. Or you focus internally totally on the let's say the pain that you might be feeling somewhere, or any kind of sensations that you're having in your body or your breath. That is also meditation. I am reminded of the story of Rumi. He was passing through a market and then he came across this blacksmith who was constantly hammering a plate. That must be a metal plate. And when Rumi heard that sound over and over again, he started moving around in circles, which is how the dance of the dervishes was invented. And it's a beautiful little story, and I think it's very telling of what meditation is. You don't have to go to forests, and you don't have to go to monasteries or become a monk or a nun to meditate. Everybody can meditate. Now, who is it for? As I said, everybody can do it, but especially people who are dealing with some sort of stress, anger, frustration, any kind of negative emotion, let's say fear, or what else, guilt, shame. There are a lot of negative emotions. Can specifically focus on that particular emotion during your meditations, and it will help. Any kind of inner child wound, those are those kind of things which are impacting your life right now. Or even if you're not satisfied with your life, let's say, and you are not aware what exactly is the root cause of the pattern that you're facing in your life, that if you don't know what the patterns are in your life which are making it stuck, that too, that all of that can be solved and brought to the surface with meditation. Or people who are generally very restless, if you consume a lot of coffee or a lot of tea, then you will have those jittery feelings and the restlessness that we get in your body regardless. So sometimes it becomes very difficult for a person like that to sit still and just be. So for people like that too, if you're someone who's dealing with chronic pain, then just lying down on the bed and then focusing on the pain and becoming one with the pain, that can also be very helpful, because I've personally tried it with my migraine attacks, and yeah, it made sense to me. Then anybody who is going through a tough time in their life, whether it's because of grief or divorce or kind of separation. No? So anything negative can be dealt with in meditation, but also for everybody who just wants to be mindful, who has lost their focus because of social media, because of reels, or because of doom scrolling. And it is for everybody who has a lot of love to give to the world. You know? If you want to receive and give that love, increase that sense of balance within yourself, it is for you. And if you're, let's say, in a creative field, you have ideas pop up, like confetti, meditation can be extremely good for you, because you have to clear the muck out, you have to clear the clutter out, you have to clear the ripples first, and then when things settle, the things which are actually worthy of you knowing, they start coming up, okay, whether it's good or bad, and everything starts coming to the surface. If you want to open yourself to receiving love and abundance and happiness and peace, and if your nervous system is not ready for all of that, then maybe that too, you are maybe a good candidate to practice meditation. So it's basically for everybody. Okay, who it is not for, I really believe that a person who has absolutely no control over their emotions, you should steer away from practicing meditation. No, you should focus on breath work first, and only then get into meditation. Because if one gets into meditation and, let's say, goes into a deeper state, a lot of emotions which they are not ready for will start coming up, and they might not be able to handle them. Okay? And they can be any kind of emotions. So we have to prepare ourselves, we have to prepare the bed basically before we put in good seeds. Okay, so you have to remove the weeds first, which is why we have yam and niyam in yoga. Like, you have to prepare your body and your mind for meditation, and only then you get into deeper practices. But what I'm going to talk about is something that everybody can do, I believe. And some people think that if they start meditating, their family life will suffer. Absolutely not. I think your family life will improve by miles if you become mindful, if you become a bit meditative, if you become calmer, if you become more sensitive to what others are saying, right? And if you become more grounded in what you believe in, if you start releasing the conditioning that we keep on talking about on this channel. And if you want to stop watching the video right now, if you don't want to listen to what I have to say after this, then maybe this is what you can take. All you have to do is just stare at a wall, like an empty wall, for, let's say, 30 minutes. And that's all. Whatever thought comes, just let it go and keep on staring at the wall. For example, I have this white wall, or cream, or whatever this color is behind me. I keep on staring at it, and whatever thought comes, I let it pass by. There were a lot of sages, both in Hinduism and Buddhism, who burnt a lot of their karmas just by doing this. So maybe you can try it out. Okay. Then we often hear that meditation will help you let go of Kam, Krodh, Lobh, Moh, Ahankar, which means pride, anger, malice, jealousy, and things like that. But that view becomes very, very exclusive. That we have to release guilt, anger, shame, things like that. Yes, we have to release them, but how exactly to release them without shaming ourselves for having shame, without feeling even more guilt because of having that guilt? We have to accept every part of ourselves, even the uglier parts, especially the uglier parts, because there must be a reason in your psyche, in your childhood, in your teenage, or maybe when you were a young adult, to have those emotions. It's okay. What you have to do is become mindful, and then let those emotions rise up, feel them fully, see where they're coming from, and then release it from the root cause, and tell that part of yourself that it's okay, it's perfectly fine that you're feeling that way, but I do not want to feel it now. I forgive this person, I seek forgiveness from this person, which is why I always recommend listening to Ho'oponopono. It's magical. Okay, but you don't have to become exclusionary with your own self. You don't have to let go of lust. You don't have to let go of what all these negative emotions or all these emotions that you feel. They all of them have a reason. All of them. If passion did not exist, I think the world will not exist. So we exist because of the passion that maybe our parents felt, right? I hope I'm able to make my point clear. Maybe shame actually stops a person from doing something which can be harmful to the society. Who knows? Maybe guilt is something which helps a person release the karma that they did and then perform a karma which is much better than the negative karma that they might have done. But the thing is, we don't have to stay in those emotions because they're very low vibration. And we have to accept ourselves and the parts of ourselves which are feeling those emotions. We don't have to reject the parts of ourselves. And I think meditation can help you become very, very mindful while witnessing. While witnessing which part of you is speaking, which age of you is speaking, let's say. Does that make sense? Let's say if there's a person A, and A had a trauma in age 15, because of which A now has abandonment issues. You don't trust people around you, and then maybe you had this incredible sense of loss at that time. Now you see everything from that person perspective. Why? Because that part is still alive. That part does not want to be hurt again, so it's protecting you. If something is protecting you from feeling hurt, there's no way that you can hate it. No, I have committed that mistake and I don't want anybody else to do it. I really hope people have stuck with me up till here and I'm not blabbering too much, but this is why this channel is called Banter. Okay, this ego-friendly banter. Mindfulness and meditation, it's all about accepting all parts of you, accepting all emotions that you feel, and then not acting on the emotions that you know are detrimental for yourself or for others. Let's say if someone does not want to meditate, okay, or there are some kind of religious restrictions, because I have met a couple of people who told me that they're not allowed to meditate, which was very weird for me because I've not grown up in a culture like that. I would recommend that start reading more, start spending more time in nature, start listening to one song on loop, start listening to something, um, let's say maybe which is from your tradition and you're allowed to listen to that, or things like that. If there are those kind of restrictions, otherwise I believe that you should be free from within and without. But anyway, listen to those things on loop. Or if you have a guru, if you have someone that you love, someone that you want to embody, not movie star, not the celebrities, not things like that, because they are also humans. And they often say that never meet your hero, because when you meet them and you see something in them which is absolutely opposite to the image that you have of them, you'll be wrecked, because you had been putting in your head a wrong person on the pedestal for a long period of time. But no, they're also human and they can commit mistakes. They can really commit blunders even. We keep on hearing about them. Okay, so don't do that. Let's say if you have a guru, put their photograph and then keep on looking at it, staring at it for a long, long period of time. This is called dharana. Dharana, and then we do dhyan. We'll talk about that later. There are gurus, saints, sages, if there are gods in your religion, if there is something that you like, for example, if there's a crystal that you like, keep on staring at it. If you have a candle, then maybe the flame, you can keep on focusing on the flame. So anything on the planet, anything that gives you good energy. And also it is very important to visualize that thing or that photograph giving you energy back, whether it's moon, sun, your guru's photograph, or the flame, or a crystal, because the balance has to be there. Otherwise it can be very draining, and I'm seeing this from my own experience. You know, wherever there's no reciprocation, there's just draining. Now coming to the meditation practices, one can be very simple meditation that we do, and then another can be analytical meditation. Analytical meditation is when you have a question in mind, when you want to analyze something in your mind, but then can be very very intellectual sometimes. Okay, so here we're talking about something that relaxes us, where we're not using too much of this, because the entire point, I believe, of our soul's journey is coming from here to here. So if you have, let's say, a question in mind, what you do is, before you start the meditation, you just have to think to yourself that I want to meditate on surrender, that I want to meditate on guilt, shame, or where this emotion is coming from. I want to go back to the timeline or that age from where this pattern started, or any question that you have in your mind. Go into meditation with that question, but then surrender that question, okay? Whether the answer comes in the meditation or a couple of days later, it totally depends. It all happens according to the divine timing when you are ready to listen to that answer. So that is that. And now we come to the practice, how I do it. As I had mentioned earlier, if you don't want to meditate, then you can do all those focusing practices. And for everybody who wants to focus on breath and other things, this is for you. First thing we're going to do is take a couple of deep breaths in and out. Okay, let's say 4 to 5 times. And then you do gibberish. This was introduced by Osho, I believe, if I'm not wrong. What you have to do is empty your mind. Say whatever you have. Like the kids, they keep on blabbering, and we have to do that constantly. You can read all about it on Osho's website. That is where I got it from, and it's very good. So you can do that for next couple of 4 to 5 minutes. Let's say keep on doing that, like blabbering, whether it makes sense or not. And then for a couple of minutes, feel the sensations in your body. Then we move to humming. So when we do Brahmari traditionally, we put our fingers in our ears and then over our eyebrows and upper lips and eyes and things like that. But we're not going to do that now. Here is just plain humming. Just that thrice. Do that. Or you can chant Om thrice. Okay? For anybody who doesn't want to chant Om, then maybe you can just hum. Then focus on the vibrations that you're feeling within yourself. After that, keep on feeling these vibrations. Either you will get into deeper states of meditation right after humming because of the gibberish that you did, or you'll know that you are about to come out of the state of meditation. That is when you should start doing some other sort of breath work, which is a little more intense. So earlier we did just breathing in and out, simple breaths. Here we have to do something which is more intense. Let's say Nadi Shodhan, or Nadi Shodhan is alternative nostril breathing, or Kapalbhati, but Kapalbhati is not for everybody. I don't know what it's called in English, where you take oxygen in and then you let the carbon dioxide out very forcefully over and over again until it's completely empty, and then you keep on doing that. It's very, very effective, but it's not for everybody, especially I believe with for people with BP. It's not good, but you can check it out on internet, the do's and don'ts of alternative nostril breathing, which is called Nadi Shodhan, and second one, which is Kapalbhati. If you don't want to do that, then you can do box breathing or some sort of breath work which is a bit more intense, and then just focus on your sensations. That is all I do, and I don't do anything else. So after that, if you have a mantra that you want to chant, only after completely focusing on the sensations that you feel when they start to wither down, then start chanting 3 times, 21 times, 108 times, any mantra that you have, but mentally. I will also make a video on japa. Mental japa is much more powerful than chanting loudly, because these vibrations, they stay within. Once done, you can just thank Mother Earth, thank your guru, thank the deity that you believe in. If you don't believe in anything, just thank Mother Universe, say Ho'oponopono once, and then just go about your business. And seize the day. We all are so busy in our lives. There's so much that we have to do all the time. Meditation or mindfulness practices should not be something that you have to do. No, it should be not doing of anything. Just sit and focus on your breath. I think only that can help a lot of people. And also, there's this very nice app by Plum Village. Plum Village was founded by Thich Nhat. I love him so much. I love him so much, so much, and I love and respect him so much. It's just like the words can never suffice. But anyway, so they have this option where you can select a gong or a bell. Like there are 3 options. I also have the gong as a notification. So after every 30 minutes, it hits the gong, and then the notification comes and sort of reminds me to be mindful, and I suddenly come back to the present moment. You can set the timer let's say 2 hours, 3 hours, 1 hour, whatever you want, even 40 minutes, whatever you want. You can set those timers and they'll keep on notifying. There must be other apps as well, but this is the one that I use. So this is all I have for now, and I really hope that it helped at least some of you. And if you decide to adopt any practice, then do let me know, because these are practices which thousands of people have been doing since time immemorial, and they've benefited from them. And one of them is right in front of you, so I can recommend and vouch for them. Okay, so if you practice them and if they help you, then do let me know. Thank you.